A warm evening here from the administrative center of Somalia, capital city Mogadishu. Welcome to Somalia's premier #1 station for news and updates, Dalsan TV. I'm your presenter, Abdurrahman Yusuf. Tonight, we have a lot in store for you, but first kindly have a look at some of our top stories. Somalia Army liberates 4 Al-Shabaab strongholds in southwest region. Puntland traditional leaders insist on timely election, clan-based parliament election. National Disaster Agency assists flood-affected families with relief food in southwest state. The International Monetary Fund (IMF) approves $100 million funding for Somalia's economic recovery. Lovely viewers, glad to have you back. Now let's delve into a full bulletin. Now, the Somali National Army forces on Wednesday captured 4 villages which were Al-Shabaab strongholds in the country's southwest region as part of the offensive to flush out the Al-Shabaab militants, according to the Somali federal government. Here's a full story.
The Somali National Army forces successfully captured 4 villages in the country's southwestern region, which has served as strongholds for the notorious extremist group Al-Shabaab. The offensive aimed at rooting out of the militants marks the second phase of the government's ongoing campaign against the extremist organization. According to the Ministry of Defense, the villages of Dudumale, Bulakachor, Abag Beidei, and El Garas, located in Hodor town, have now come under the control of Somali National Army soldiers. In a statement released in Mogadishu, the ministry hailed the operation as a decisive step towards restoring safety and security to local communities.
Now we head over to Puntland State, where 28 traditional leaders from the Puntland have emerged from a multi-day meeting in Garowe City, issuing a resolute statement asserting that the upcoming election, scheduled for the January 8, 2024, must proceed as planned. However, Puntland Regional State President has denounced Wednesday's political decisions made by the traditional elders following days of meeting in Garowe, the administrative capital of Puntland State.
28 traditional leaders from Puntland have emerged from a multi-day meeting in Garowe City, issuing a resolute statement asserting that the upcoming election, scheduled for January 8, 2024, must proceed as planned. The traditional leaders emphasized the need for Puntland Parliament to be selected through the established clan-based method, citing insufficient time remaining in President Denny's term to conduct comprehensive one-person, one-vote election. These demands were put forth by the traditional leaders during a meeting chaired by King Burhan Bokor Muse, a figure entangled in a pre-existing conflict with President Denny. This statement from the Puntland traditional leaders arrives at a crucial juncture, coinciding with the imminent approval of new election schedule for Puntland by the Council of Ministers. The traditional leaders' insistence on maintaining the clan-based selection process underscores their belief that it remains the most practical and feasible approach within the limited time frame. This approach has been historically employed in Puntland, ensuring representation from diverse clans and fostering a sense of political inclusion. However, the reaction of President Denny to the traditional leaders' statement remains uncertain. The existing conflict between President Denny and King Burhan Bokor Muse could potentially complicate the resolution of the matter, casting a shadow of doubt over the extent of which the president will align the traditional leaders' position.
Now, amid the looming El Nino rains as part of its rapid response to the disaster, SODMA distributed relief food supplies to 400 families in the heavily affected areas. Families consisting of impoverished individuals, women, and vulnerable and children were carefully selected from the outskirts of Baidoa, where the flooding has caused significant displacement. The National Disaster Management Agency has taken swift action by distributing relief food items to 400 families in the heavily affected areas. The families, consisting of impoverished individuals, women, and vulnerable children, were carefully selected from districts and camps located on the outskirts of Baidoa, where the floods have caused significant displacement. Abdullah Ibrahim, the Deputy Commissioner for Social Affairs in Baidoa District, emphasized the urgent need for additional assistance from humanitarian agencies and donors. He appealed to their compassion, urging them to extend support to the flood victims who still require essential provisions such as food, water, shelter, and healthy services. He appealed their compassion, urging them to extend support to the flood victims who still require essential provisions such as food, water, shelter, and health services. Mukhtar Sheikh Hussein, the Rapid Response and Coordination Advisor of SODMA, expressed the agency's unwavering commitment to providing aid to those affected by natural disasters and climate change. Recognizing the enormity of the situation, SODMA is actively collaborating with various partners to address the pressing humanitarian needs of the affected people. Hussein urged the general public to take precautionary measures and remain vigilant by closely following weather forecast. Individuals can help minimize the further losses and damage caused by floods. Now lastly, as we wind up our bulletin, a preliminary agreement has been reached between the International Monetary Fund and Somalia, paving way for the release of $100 million in funding under a new 36-month credit agreement.
The International Monetary Fund (IMF) announced on Wednesday that its staff has reached a preliminary agreement with Somalia, paving the way for the release of $100 million in funding as part of a new 36-month credit program. The agreement, known as the Extended Credit Facility (ECF), is subject to approval from the IMF's board and aims to support Somalia's economic institution in formulating policies necessary for the country to achieve debt relief under the heavily indebted Poor Countries Completion Scheme by December. Laura Jaramillo, who led the team conducting a review on Somalia, acknowledged the progress made but highlighted the significant challenges that lie ahead for the country. In a statement, she emphasized the multifaceted nature of these challenges, encompassing economic, social, security, and climate risks. The government of Somalia has been contending with Al-Qaeda-linked militant group Al-Shabaab since 2016. Al-Shabaab, which seeks to overthrow the government, has been responsible for frequent gun and bomb attacks targeting not only the authorities but also peacekeeping forces supporting the government. In addition to security concerns, Somalia grappled with recurring episodes of drought and floods, resulting in the displacement of thousands of individuals over the years. These climate-related disasters have further exacerbated the country's challenges and added to the complexity of its recovery efforts. The IMF's funding, once approved by the board, will play a crucial role in supporting Somalia's ongoing effort to rebuild its economy and strengthen its institutions. The financial assistance will enable the country to implement essential reforms, enhance economic stability, and lay the foundation for sustainable growth and poverty reduction.
Lovely viewers, that's all we are prepared for you tonight from our desk in Mogadishu. Wish to thank every person that partook to make this news bulletin a success. And you are a lovely viewer wherever you're watching us from. Have yourself a lovely night. Be blessed and kindly stay put for more stories in our subsequent bulletins.